Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Steelers GM Omar Khan: we always want to approach the draft not needing any one position. The Steelers think they've done enough in free agency not to need to reach for any position in the draft. That's what Steelers general manager Omar Khan tries to accomplish each year, and it's his feeling heading into the 2025 NFL draft that the Steelers don't have any one need they have to hit. Our goal is always to put ourselves in a position where we don't have to take a guy at a specific position, Khan said in a video made by the Steelers. And I feel like we've added some key pieces to what we're trying to accomplish. And this draft there's some really good players in this draft that can help us at various positions. And we've been working hard at trying to make sure we set our board right, and there's more work to come. This is the next 3 or 4 weeks are going to be really important, but we're right in the middle of it and feel good about it. The position that's the greatest need for the Steelers right now is quarterback, but they appear more likely to address that need by signing Aaron Rodgers than by drafting a quarterback who could start as a rookie. The Steelers may be looking for depth on the offensive or defensive line, the secondary or at running back, but there's not one glaring need they have to fill, and that's the way they want to approach the draft. League executives question whether Browns plan to tank in hopes of landing Arch Manning by Matthew Marksy posted on April 7, 2025 at 5:40 a.m. under owner Jimmy Haslam. The Browns' solution has been to throw money at problems. Most recently, they tossed money at Myles Garrett to make him happy after he requested a trade. Years prior, however, was the most damning and damaging incident of such a practice. In 2022, in trading for QB Deshaun Watson, the Browns gave him a 5-year, fully guaranteed $230 million contract. They still have 2 years left on that deal, and no way to get out of it. Haslam recently admitted basically that the Browns made a horrible mistake in trading for Watson, better late than never. That still leaves them in need of a quarterback, while holding the second overall pick. Not everybody is convinced the Browns will use that second pick on a quarterback, though. Indeed, some wonder if they plan on winning this season or not. Via The Athletic, some executives around the league question whether they are prepared to tank, eyeing next year's draft. The biggest potential name at quarterback to come out next year is Arch Manning, though he may not declare. Our latest videos: it's such a weak quarterback draft and free agency class at the position. Mike Sando quotes one anonymous NFL executive as telling The Athletic when discussing the predicament the Browns are in at quarterback. Is there a temptation to suck for Arch Manning? The 2025 NFL draft is regarded as a weaker one for quarterback. Especially after last season, when teams drafted 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 selections, this year's crop doesn't feel as robust. Indeed, some suggest that the top quarterback this year wouldn't rank in the top 6 of last year's class. If the Browns share that sentiment, why would they want to draft a quarterback second overall? The Titans seem likely to use the first overall pick on QB Cam Ward, though even that isn't guaranteed. Should they do so, however, that leaves the Browns with Shedeur Sanders as arguably the best quarterback left on the board. And yet there are mock drafts out there suggesting that Sanders could slide all the way to the Steelers. The Steelers don't pick until 21, so the Browns would be massively overdrafting in that scenario. That is, of course, assuming one puts any kind of value in mock drafts. Sando notes that the sentiment about the Browns is shared by more than one executive. Are they drafting or tanking? He quotes another as saying, "If you are tanking, then you would be down to 1 year left on Deshaun Watson. I'm sure they are like, hey, Joe Flacco got us to the playoffs and we can do whatever." Steelers connection could lure Raiders cut to Pittsburgh. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are still in the market for cornerback help, former Las Vegas Raiders CB Jack Jones would profile as a potential fit. On April 6, NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported that the Raiders are releasing CB Jack Jones, sources say, after Las Vegas attempted to trade him. Rappaport added that Jones is an intriguing option for a CB-needy team. Pittsburgh isn't necessarily cornerback needy, but they could still afford to bring in more competition at the position. And it just so happens that there is a clear coaching link that could lure Jones to the Steelers. Per Steelers Now reporter Alan Saunders, Jones played for Pittsburgh Steelers secondary coach Gerald Alexander in 2024. The Steelers could potentially be interested in a reunion between Jones and Alexander, who replaced Grady Brown as the Steelers secondary coach this offseason, Saunders theorized on April 6. Noting that the 5'11", 175-pound Jones earned the most extensive playing time of his career under Alexander in 2024. Raiders cut Jack Jones was better in rotational role. Las Vegas started Jones last year, as Saunders alluded, but he was a better rotational player in 2022 and 2023. According to Pro Football Focus, Jones held opposing quarterbacks to a passer rating under 70.0 in each of his first 2 seasons. Most of that time was spent with the New England Patriots. Jones joined the Raiders midway through the 2023 campaign. After impressing down the stretch, Jones earned a starting job on the outside in 2024. Unfortunately, the higher snap count seemed to expose Jones a bit. He earned the worst coverage grade of his career last season, and his passer rating allowed jumped up to 115.8 despite 3 interceptions and 10 pass breakups. Worst of all was Jones' tackling and his penalties. Per PFF, the former 4th-round talent missed 15 tackles in 2024, at a high rate of 17.4%. He was flagged for 7 penalties. Jones did hold pass catchers to a reception rate of 65.9% last year while also achieving 22 key defensive stops as a tackler, but he allowed a whopping 10 touchdowns in coverage. Perhaps, Jones can get his career back on track with Alexander and the Steelers. Does Jack Jones fit into Steelers' CB room? The Steelers have already signed 2 veteran cornerbacks in free agency, coming to terms with Darius Slay and Brandon Echols. They also have a collection of recent draft picks and UDFAs, including Joey Porter Jr., Corey Trice Jr. and Beanie Bishop Jr. Throw in staff favorite James Pierre and a couple others and one could argue that Pittsburgh does not need Jones. Having said that, you never know how much injury insurance you'll end up needing in April. And more competition is never a bad thing. Based on his defensive snap percentages, Jones would likely push Trice for the top backup job on the outside, behind Porter and Slay. Echols has also preferred guarding the boundaries more often than not. But he'll have a better chance of logging impactful snaps in the slot. With more nickel CB experience than both Trice and Jones, Echols could challenge Bishop for the 3rd starting role, creating a very strong training camp competition at the position. One last positive. A Jones addition would eliminate cornerback as a draft need, allowing Pittsburgh to focus on other areas of the roster. Certain draft analysts have predicted that the Steelers would use their 1st-round selection on a CB. With needs at defensive tackle, running back, quarterback and more, cornerback should not be the priority. Are you a fan? What do you think of Jack Jones's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.